All right, let's talk about someone who I was very high on actually coming into this season. I really liked him out of the draft. He was my wide receiver 4. I had him as a first-round talent, so seeing him play well in the preseason is not a surprise to me. I expected him to play well. I was a big fan of him, and we're going to see exactly what I liked about him in college that I think is translating well. So what you're going to see is on this play, it's going to be zone coverage, and you see the route that he's running. It's a simple route, but a lot of times with routes, it's less about what route are you running and more about how are you running it. And that's what Pickens can do very successfully, is he just does little things that allows him to win. Right when this play begins, it's really that explosiveness and that threat of him being able to get open deep down the field that makes things very difficult for opposing corners. This is the big thing that he was able to do in college. It's going to translate well here as well. You see how the corner is, giving him a little bit of space, but there's not too much. And this is just a small little thing that Pickens is going to be able to do. He pushes off a little bit, not enough to get a penalty, and also stops on a dime. That's just good fundamental football of knowing what you can get away with, a little bit of contact for an offensive player, you're going to get away with that. And also just being able to stop on a dime the way that he can, and the threat of being able to win down the field. All those things combined can allow you to get some of these easy completions that we just saw right there. We also have something like this, which I'm sure that there's a good chance you've seen a clip of this already online somewhere. This is just what George Pickens does. I don't really know why, but this is just kind of what you see him do constantly in the run blocking game. I mean, watch him really just knock over that player. For whatever reason, my feed just paused it right here, but it kind of adds for comedic value. I feel like there's huge compilations of him doing this to guys in college. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he does this so frequently and why just him seemingly does this so frequently. But hey, it's interesting. It's fun. I don't know how much you care about it, but it's definitely, I think, an interesting situation and an interesting thing that he does. Going back to the receiving, though, the real reason why I like him, because again, run blocking, cool, that's fun, a nice little bonus. But you want guys who can be able to get open if they're wide receivers. And I thought that Pickens' first release, his release, his first step is really what he does so successfully. This is how he's able to win. Watch him kind of sidestep the defensive back that he's going up against, and then he just has the explosiveness to run by him. So right off the bat, we're talking, 6 yards down the field, and this is a disaster situation for the defensive back trying to cover Pickens. So that's kind of how he can win. It's just by winning immediately. You put yourself in a good position to succeed quickly, and good things are going to happen. Trubisky ends up not being able to do much because there was pressure. He runs outside the pocket, whatever. But that's obviously not what we care about. We care about the play from George Pickens. The play from George Pickens was very good, and that's part of how he's able to be successful. There was, of course, this play where it's going to be man coverage, and this is kind of what I said about Pickens and why I had him higher than some other guys. I think most people would have had higher, most people did have higher than where I had them, is the fact that he can win on the outside, and he has the ability to win on the outside the way I didn't feel like a Chris Olave or a Garrett Wilson can because of plays like this. So often in football, this is what it comes down to, is that your opponent is only having a single safety deep, and so you need to be able to take advantage. Because if you can't take advantage in these situations, a team has no incentive to put a second safety back there, meaning that it's going to be really hard to get stuff underneath going at all. So Pickens, who's going to be running a go route, you want him to be able to win this one-on-one matchup, especially with it being a 3rd and 13, big spot in the game, although obviously it's preseason, so who really cares, but still. And again, when this play begins, despite all of that space that the Seattle player was giving Pickens, by the time the camera cuts back over, Pickens has gotten behind him, which I'm assuming is due to route running, but it's also due to, again, that explosiveness, his ability to, his 2 steps, he travels more distance than your 2 steps do, so what do you do about it? Just in terms of explosiveness and speed more than anything. So he put himself in position to, give a window for his quarterback to make a throw, but that's only half the battle. You have to then be able to make the catch. And it's, again, his physicality that allows him to be able to go over and make the grab and, catch the football. His physicality is real. It's funny, when I made the thumbnail for this video, there was, the screenshot I used for him. It was weird because I was looking at it and I'm like, this doesn't even look like a wide receiver. I mean, if you look at the thumbnail, you might think it's like a running back or something that I took the picture of. No, it's a wide receiver. He's just very big and very physical. One last play I talk about, and this is what sets things up. You're able to win on the outside. It just sets everything else up and makes the offense so much easier. You see a situation like this where he's, you see how far off that defensive player is playing off of Pickens. Well, this is going to allow Pickens to be able to set up other things. Look, as you notice, when Pickens instead runs an out route right here, he's able to get open. The defensive back never had a chance because of the threat of Pickens being able to win down the field. When you can win down the field, you can win anywhere. This is why speed is so important for corners, and this is why winning on the outside is so important for receivers. If you don't trust me, maybe you'll trust the PFF grades. The PFF grades were very good in his 21 snaps. He had, overall PFF grade of 91.2. You're going to see the run blocking grade is a little bit down, but keep in mind, 7 snaps. And there was one play I noticed where there was a miscommunication. He thought it was a passing play, so he missed his run block, but not because he physically couldn't, because of miscommunication, which maybe you'd like to see get cleaned up, but still, not the end of the world. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought about George Pickens and how he performed in this one. Again, was this the best wide receiver performance we've ever seen? No, obviously, of course not. But I thought he showed some really nice things. And again, the way I always view preseason is it's an extension of what I already knew about this player. If this was the first time I saw George Pickens ever play, it would mean nothing to me because it is such a small sample size. But he's going up against actual NFL talent, which is, more than you can say in college. It's always going to be, I don't care if it's third stringers, fourth stringers, whatever you're going up against, it's better than what you're going up against in college. So it's always, a benefit from that level. And also, I just think that, again, from the extension of what I saw of him in college, and one of the things that I loved about him, and I kept going back to, was he can win on the outside, and that sets things up. And if you can win on the outside, and I felt like his moves would work at the NFL level, then I feel good. And his moves so far have worked at the NFL level, which then sets other stuff up. So it's looking like the Pittsburgh Steelers might have another one of these classic Pittsburgh Steelers draft picks, right, that we've become so accustomed to seeing. We obviously, how many times have the Steelers drafted someone on day 2 or day 3 even that's gone on to be super successful? But that's also part of just the strategy in general is wide receivers are a tough position to predict. And even though I'm already patting myself on the back for getting the George Pickens one right, even though it's preseason, maybe he'll still not play that well. We don't know. But, even if this one's right, you can look at my history and see I've missed on plenty of wide receivers as well, as has everybody. The strategy is don't spend a first rounder, spend a second or a third rounder on a guy who you can probably get that has decent value and similar value to the guys going in the first. The hit rate in round 1 and round 3 is the same. So get these guys in round 2, like a George Pickens that you still really like, but maybe has fallen for other reasons other than being a good football player, and that's how you can still get good value there at a very important position. So plenty remains to be seen, but so far, I think for the rookies for Pittsburgh, off to a good start. I thought that Pickett played well. I thought that Pickens played well, and we'll see if we get some Pickett to Pickens, action sometime soon. I'm sure at a certain point we'll get that. But yeah, that's what I think about him. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.